lesson for today is about distinguishing text types, enumeration, time order. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to distinguish text types according to purpose and features, enumeration, and time order. Texts are written for a variety of purposes using different forms and standards of composition. These forms of writing are known as text types. What is text type? Text type is a way of classifying and defining different types of language interaction, both spoken and written. It refers to the purpose of a text and the way it is written. In our previous lesson about text type, you have learned to distinguish classification and explanation. This time, you will learn to distinguish the two remaining text types, which are enumeration and time order. Enumeration. Enumeration. An enumeration paragraph or text lists the kinds, characters, classes, types, pathways, and groups of a thing or subject. Transition signal words used to show enumeration are the following, in many ways, such as first, or one, second, or next, and so on. So let's read the example. The Earth's surface is constantly changing through slow processes that we don't usually see. One is erosion. This has worn away rocks and mountains over millions of years, caused by air, water, and wind. Another change is caused by earthquakes that originate deep inside the planet, more sudden and violent than erosion. An earthquake results when strains between Earth's plates produce shock waves. And the third process results when molten rock-forming material, called lava, escapes onto the surface through gaps and on the crust. What we experience is volcanic eruption. Next, time order. Time order, a process or how the two texts gives explanations or directions. Each sentence tells the next step in carrying out a process or in getting from one place to another. Transitional words that may be used to show order of steps include first, second, third, then, before, after, during, meanwhile, etc. Let's have example. How to purify cloudy water. Boiling is perhaps the safest way to purify the cloudy water. You will need a boiling pot, fire, salt, a coffee filter or cloth, charcoal, and cotton. First, pre-filter the cloudy water with a cotton filter or loaded cloth. Then, boil the filtered water. Add a small amount of salt to improve the taste of the water as it is boiling. If you are above 2,000 feet altitude, boil for 3 minutes. Next, let the water cool. Meanwhile, make a cotton and charcoal filter by crushing the charcoal and putting it in the cotton as straw. This will remove impurities and steal some bad taste from the boiled water. Finally, filter the boiled water through the cotton trap. Okay, so let's proceed to learning activities. Learning Task 1. Directions. For your first activity, read the text below and answer the following questions. Do this in your notebook. Let's read the paragraph. The Hertzsprung-Russell diagram shows the three very different types of stars. The first type is called the main sequence, which includes the Sun. These stars are fueled by nuclear fusion, converting hydrogen into helium. The hotter they are, the brighter they become. They last for about 5 billion years. The second type includes the supergiant. As they reach old age, they deplete their hydrogen supply. Their core contracts as their outer layers expand. Eventually, they will explode, becoming nebula or supernova, then white dwarfs, neutron stars, or black holes. Third, smaller stars consequently become white dwarfs, shrinking and depleting their nuclear fuels, finally becoming cold, dark black dwarfs. Okay, let us answer the following questions. Number 1. What is the paragraph about? Okay, what's your answer? Correct. The paragraph is about the three types of stars. Number 2. What things are enumerated to show the different types of stars? The answer: the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram shows the three very different types of stars: main sequence, supergiant, and white dwarfs. Next, number 3. What words or phrases signal the enumeration or listing? Correct. The words signal used are first, second, and third. Next, learning task 1. Go back to the selection above and complete the graphic organizer below. Okay, so this is the graphic organizer. We have general subject and the three types. Okay, the general subject is three types of stars. First type, main sequence. Second, supergiant. And third, white dwarfs. Okay. Moving on to our next activity. Read the text, then complete the organizer that follow. Do this in your notebook. So let's read the paragraph. As a grade 5 pupil, Emmanuel was already self-motivated and self-directed in many ways. He would assist his mother in some household chores and some errands. On days when there would be no classes, he would go with his father in the farm and would pasture the carabao to the fields. On weekdays, he would burn the midnight oil, working on his assignments and studying his lessons. So this is the organizer. So I will give the answer for the general subject as your bonus. So for general subject, the answer is Emmanuel. Okay, now it's your turn to answer the rest of the activity. Next, Learning Task 3. Read the text below and answer the following questions. Do this in your notebook. So let's read the paragraph. How to mold a sculpture. First, clean the clay by getting rid of the bits of sand and dirt from it. Then, add or remove water from the clay if necessary. If the clay is too wet, it will not hold a shape. And if it is too dry, it will not be flexible enough to mold. Next, begin to shape the clay into something with your bare hands or with tools. Roll and push clay into shapes or pull off and stick back on different places. After the clay has been molded, put it into a kind of oven to be fired. Then, build a fire. As the fire slowly gets hotter and hotter, water is baked out of the clay. Sooner or later, the clay dries up and becomes hard with a new shape. Remove it from the oven and let it cool. Afterwards, you may paint it and put some designs of your choice on it. Okay, answer the following questions. Okay, number 1 is your bonus. What is the text about? Answer: the text is about how to mold a sculpture. Now do the rest of the activity. For number 2, how many steps in the process are given? 3. What are those steps? 4. What words are used to introduce the steps? And 5. What type of text is the example above? Alright. Let's proceed to learning task 4. Directions. Read the text below. Write numbers to order the sentences correctly. Do this in your notebook. Okay, let's read the paragraph. One afternoon, after classes, Emmanuel's class advisor gave him an envelope for his parents. He immediately went home and handed the envelope to his mother. Hurriedly, his mother opened and then read the letter, informing them on Emmanuel's chance to enjoy a scholarship next school year in one of the prestigious schools in their town. At last, the fruits of a long, arduous labor since you were young are now being harvested. Now you are recognized and awarded this scholarship, his mother announced with joy. Okay, write the numbers to order the sentences correctly. So, I will give number 1 as your bonus. He immediately went home and handed the envelope to his mother. So, this is number 2. Okay, do the rest of the activity. At last, the fruits of a long, arduous labor since you were young are now being harvested. Now you are recognized and awarded this scholarship, his mother announced with joy. Next sentence, hurriedly, his mother opens the letter. Next, Emmanuel's class advisor gave him an envelope for his parents. And last, she reads the letter informing them on Emmanuel's chance to enjoy a scholarship next school year in one of the prestigious schools in their town. Okay, let's move on. Learning Task 5. Read the text and enumerate your answers. Do this in your notebook. Let's read the paragraph. Whole year round, typhoons occur. It is always good to prepare for the coming of any typhoon as predicted. First and foremost, inspect your house if necessary. Repair or fixing is needed. With this, cleaning up the house drainage system is a must to avoid clogging up. Next, store an adequate supply of food and water good for a few days. Everything in the house should be put in an elevated position, especially those items that generate electricity. Water should not penetrate them in case flood water rushes into your house. Lastly, always keep flashlights, candles, batteries, and first aid supplies. Okay, enumerate the things we need to do, prepare for the coming of typhoon. So I will give number 1 as your bonus. Number 1, first and foremost, inspect your house if necessary. Repair or fixing is needed. Now it's your turn to answer the rest of the activity. Alright, let's proceed to assessment. Directions: read the following paragraphs, distinguish and write the text for each type. Letter A, enumeration text type. Letter B, time order text type. So number 1, let us read the paragraph. Here is a fast and easy recipe for a special mashed sweet potato treat that serves 2 people. You begin with peeling 2 large potatoes and cooking them in a pot of boiling water. When a fork or knife inserted into them pulls out easily, you will know they are done. Then take them from the pot and drain them well. Next, place them in a large mixing bowl and add 2 tablespoons of butter. Mash with a potato masher when the lumps are gone. Meanwhile, in a skillet, melt a tablespoon of butter and add a bunch of chopped green onions. Cook them for about 1 minute and mix with the mash. Then add more butter if desired. Serve and eat. Okay, so let's give the answer. The answer is correct. Time order text type. Okay, let's proceed to the next activity, number 2. Digestive process begins when food enters the mouth. After the mouth chews and swallows the food, it goes to the throat and then travels to the esophagus or swallowing tube. Next, the esophagus, through a series of contractions called peristalsis, delivers the food to the stomach, which acts as the storage tank. The stomach contains hydrochloric acid and digestive enzymes, which when mixed with the food begins to break down into smaller molecule. Then the food enters the small intestine, wherein 90% of the food nutrients have been extracted here and absorbed by the body. The remaining goes to the large intestine as waste product. Finally, this waste product is excreted from the body as a solid matter called stool. Okay, answer this. Next, number 3. The atmosphere is composed of different levels. The first level, called troposphere, is the nearest to Earth, about 11 kilometers thick. Most clouds and weather are found in this layer. Next is the stratosphere, which is about 11 to 48 kilometers above the Earth's surface. In it is the ozone layer, which absorbs most of the harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun. The mesosphere is above the stratosphere, in which the atmosphere is very rarefied and the temperature decreases with the altitude. The fourth layer is the thermosphere, which starts at about 55 kilometers. The temperature is so hot that it cannot be measured by a thermometer. Temperature may be thousands of degrees high. The second to the last is the exosphere, the region beyond the thermosphere. Finally, the ionosphere overlaps the other layers from above the Earth. The air ionized by the sun's ultraviolet rays. These ionized layers affect the transmittance and reflectance of radio waves. All in all, there are 6 levels of the Earth's atmosphere. Now, give your answer. Alright. Class, how are you? Did you learn something new today? Wow, that's great. That's the end of our lesson. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to notify you in my next video lessons. Thank you for watching.